Welcome! Your Fearless Aging podcast is taking off. The cheers are for you, wanting to age and live fearlessly. Here's your host, America's healthy aging trainer and creator of the ageless living lifestyle, Rico Cavaglia.
Hello, this is Rico Cavaglia, America's healthy aging trainer and creator of the ageless living lifestyle. And this is your Fearless Aging podcast. And I'm really excited about today's episode because the title is How to Balance Your Work, Your Family, Your Social Life, and of course your health, which is so important to all those other aspects of your life. So our guest today, I know she's a master at doing this. I've attended several of her large events, and they've been awesome. And so I got to know really what she's all about and how she does all this, and being highly successful in her business, and how she learned to balance all these activities in her life. So our guest today is the CEO of Pinnacle Global Network. It is the world leader in scaling businesses. She is the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of Scale or Fail, which is endorsed by Damon John and Barbara Corcoran of the Shark Tank. And she built 10 successful companies starting at age 19. That's pretty impressive. Her client list has included Ben & Jerry's, Supercuts, Merrill Lynch, and Charlotte Russe. Now she and her team of CEO mentors pay it forward by helping business owners worldwide scale their companies, fast track their success, and create a more meaningful life. Pinnacle Global Network, her private mentoring and mastermind enterprise, has guided thousands of business owners over the past 9 years. She has been featured in Success, Fortune, Inc., Fast Company, and Forbes magazine, and she's a regular contributor to Entrepreneur magazine and a featured expert on ABC, CBS, NBC, and CNN across the U.S., and now she's on the Fearless Aging podcast.
Hey.
So, a big step up, right?
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
So I'm going to welcome to our show, Allison Maslan.
Thanks, Rico. I'm really glad that you're allowing me to come on here today and share some good tips for everybody.
Yeah, because I know, as we were just talking, I know this is a big challenge for most people. My show is mostly about wellness and longevity and age and all those things, and everybody knows all the benefits of trying to take care of your health and staying healthy and being fit and all that. But so many people just, as you know, we're in this rush type of society these days, and the biggest excuse, I don't have time, and it's just so ridiculous to not realize that no matter what you want to be successful at, it takes a lot of energy and good health. And if you don't take care of your health, you're going to lose it as you're trying to take care of all these other activities. So it's so important to learn how to balance your life. And I know that you're a master of doing that. So I think this is going to be really helpful. So I really want to get your story, of how you realized this and how you put it all together and some of your challenges and all that. And I think it'd be really helpful. But before we start, I always like to ask my guests, tell us a little bit something that's kind of unique or fun or just something that you really love to do that most people wouldn't realize.
Yeah, so I am a trapeze artist, just like in the circus,
That's so cool.
Big trapeze rig. In fact, I built one in my backyard about a year and a half ago, and I've been flying on the trapeze for about 20 years. And, it's just, I was a gymnast growing up, and I had a gym coach, Mr. Wilcox, who built a uneven bars set in my backyard out of plastic tubing when I was in elementary school. And so I always loved swinging on the bars. I'd be out there for hours and hours. So as an adult, when I discovered that you actually could do the trapeze, like there was a place to train, I was sold. And so I've been going up to LA from San Diego, which is a bit of a drive, especially with traffic, every week for almost 20 years, back and forth. And then when we moved to a property that had enough land, I said, that's it. I want to be able to walk out my back door and climb up the ladder. And so that's really just is my kind of meditation. People have painting or golf or, knitting or running. Mine is trekking.
It's a bit more exciting than knitting, though. I think a bit more. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but it takes some. Not only does it take some courage, but it takes. I mean, that keeps you in good shape. You got to be fit to do that sort of a thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a whole workout. I'll tell you.
Mental and physical. So yeah, I'm just always fascinated by that too, because I always wanted to do that. I don't know why. I just never got around to it. But I always thought that would be so cool. Okay,
you gotta do it.
Can I come to your house sometime and you show me?
Sure.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I'd really like to do is, tell us a little bit about your journey of how you started at age 19 and built all these businesses, and sort of your journey along the way, and maybe how when you first, I don't know if you've always been really fit and energetic and always stayed in good shape, or if you realized you need to do better, or some of the challenges you had, and just tell us a little bit about your story and how that all worked out.
Yeah, sure. Well, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My father built a really large chain of women's clothing stores. And so I was around an energy of innovation, and if you want something, go get it, go create it yourself. So I never really thought, why should I or why not do a business? I just always thought that's what you were supposed to do. And I couldn't hold a job. I tried, and I think 2 weeks was my record. So I just got the entrepreneurial bug, when I was in college, had my first business doing personalized poetry for birthdays and anniversaries for people. And then that evolved to companies, and then that evolved to a full service advertising agency. And it just, was this sort of snowball thing that happened. And things started, were landing in my lap. I didn't really know how to run a business back then. I mean, I was good at sort of flying by the seat of my pants, but I was kind of making it up as I went along. And I was doing fairly well until I wasn't. And that was when I just was completely out of balance. I was exhausted. My daughter was, like a year and a half old. I was not sleeping. I was working night and day. I didn't really understand how to delegate. I had a team, but I was a control freak. And it just, life kind of pulled the rug out from under me. And I had a terrible car accident back then. And I was lucky that I survived. It was just from being hurried and stressed out and all that kind of stuff, and not being in the moment. And so that was really my wake-up call back then, and that was many, many years ago, but more than a couple decades ago. So, that was a huge lesson. I'm grateful that I survived that, but I'm also in some ways grateful that I had that big wake-up call, because had I continued at that pace, I wouldn't have made it, car accident or not.
So would you say, when you said that you started to lose your business and you were overstressed and working too much, at that time you weren't taking very good care of your health or your fitness?
No, I was, running between, like a lot of business owners do, entrepreneurs, right? And
work too much.
Taking care of my daughter, trying to manage the business, manage the clients. I was in an unhappy marriage back then that didn't help.
Yeah.
So, there was just a lot of demands, and it was a lot of pressure for me. So I wasn't taking care of myself, not just, not getting enough sleep, not eating right. But I also didn't have, I wasn't giving back to myself. I wasn't giving back to my soul. I wasn't, taking care of my mindset, talking to a counselor, things like that, just to help me cope and deal with what was going on. So once I had that accident, I just said, wait a minute, stop the presses. There's got to be a different way. I can't, this isn't fun for me at all. I don't care how much money that I'm making. And so I walked away from everything. I literally left the business, the marriage, not my daughter. I didn't walk away from that.
That's good. And,
yeah. She works with me today. We're very close. But I just said, I've got to figure it out. I've got to figure it out. I've got to rewrite my life. I've got to figure out what my passion is. And, came full circle and ended up getting into modern dance and homeopathic medicine.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. I forgot about that. That's so good.
Yeah. So talk about, going from, crazy advertising life to homeopathic medicine. And this was back 96, early 90s. In 96, I was in school studying homeopathy, starting to practice. And then 99, I launched Homeopathic Academy, which was the largest homeopathic school in Southern California.
Wow.
So I just really enveloped this natural health industry and career and lifestyle. So
did you use homeopathy to heal some of your health challenges?
Yeah, I mean, somebody had referred me to a homeopath when I was falling apart, and I had no idea what it was. I grew up in the Midwest, and my mom used to take me to the doctor for every tiny little paper cut, and so I had no idea what I was getting into, and it ended up being life-changing for me.
Yeah.
Truly life-changing for me in so many ways. It helped me get my feet back on the ground. It helped me get clarity. It helped me have energy again, helped me build my confidence. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I need to learn about this just from my own interest. I really didn't know that was going to be my next business. And then, I ran that company for 20 years. So it's a big part of my life. I still do homeopathy all the time. I took a homeopathic remedy last night, and that's my, it's a big part of my self-care, because homeopathy is all about balance. It's all about the physical, mental, and emotional, keeping everything in alignment.
It's about getting your body back in balance so your body can heal itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people, when they take homeopathy, they say, they would often say, I feel like myself again. Mm-hmm. I just feel like me again. It's not like a drugged up version or a painless version or anything. It's just, I feel myself again, which is what we want, right?
Feel balanced, right?
Feel good.
Okay,
yeah.
So then where'd you go from there?
Yeah. So as you said in the intro, I've had 10 different companies. So I'm just very, I love creating new things. So while I was running the homeopathic business, I had many other businesses that I was launching and building and selling and so forth. But as far as the self-care is something that I think it's not like you just get it and you've got it down. I think it's something that you have to work on all the time.
Yeah.
And, even later in life, I remember at one time visiting a girlfriend in LA, and I was just going full bore. I mean, even if you love what you do, you can overdo, Yeah,
definitely.
And I call it you have to fill your back end of passion. You got to, get your sleep. You have to eat right. You have to be drinking enough water. You have to take time for friends and not just talk about business all day long, So when I ran into my girlfriend, she's like, you look like crap, Like, oh, great.
Well, that's a real friend, right?
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, yeah.
It was a wake-up call. So I've learned over the years to, and so for those of you that are listening, I think this is important, is you really want to get the message before you cross the line. So when I get little hints of, you know what, I'm feeling a little tired, or, just if you just feel like you don't have quite enough zest, you really need to look at that, or certain pains that you're having. I mean, don't just press through. Your pains are a way of your body that's the language of your body. Right. And it's speaking to you, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. And if you don't look at it and you don't pay attention to it and you don't address it, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like screaming at you.
So when did you first really realize that as you expanded and you created all this business and you got more and more successful, that it also required more energy, right? So when did you first realize that, hey, I really need to get as fit as I possibly can and take really good care of my health so I can have all the energy I need?
Yeah, I think, it's the long game. I think people are always looking for the short game. Short game in business, the short game in everything, right? Because that's the way our society is. And, I've had the same fitness trainer for over 20 years now. So he's a ex-Marine and he just pushes me really hard. And, so there's those consistent practices, if I thought every time I walked into the gym to work out with him, which is, I do 4 workouts a week at the gym. If I thought about,
yeah.
when I don't even think about it anymore. I do it so long, it's automatic. Now, while I'm there on the treadmill, I'm like, it's not like I'm loving that part of it, but it is, if I don't do it, I just feel lethargic, and it's good for me. It's good for you, everybody, for those endorphins.
Right.
And, it just helps me to feel more alive. So for me, it's moving the body. I'm sitting a lot.
Right.
We're sitting right here. I just was teaching, some entrepreneurs this morning. You're sitting. And so if I didn't do that, I would be in so much pain now with back pain and all that kind of stuff. I think if you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, on that same note, I want to say, I'm sure you've heard that saying that sitting is the new smoking. That's how bad it is for you. So here's the thing that I just think is a good time to bring this point out. I think you'll agree is that even if you work out real intensely for 1 hour every day, but then what are we doing most of the rest of the day? We're sitting in front of the computer. We're sitting on our phone. We're sitting in our car. We're sitting in front of the TV. So the thing is, even though you had a good workout, you still got to get up and move. So I try and get people, don't sit for more than about 30 minutes or 40 minutes and get up and just do some movement, right? Just keep moving, as you said, right?
Yeah, I got, my husband got me a Fitbit actually a couple of weeks ago, and I love it because it reminds me, how many.
Reminder, yeah.
You. And I think, the other big thing is I've always been a night owl, and, I'm most creative at night. And so I had a really bad habit of staying up till 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And that's fine if you're able to sleep till 10. And occasionally I can. But, I would be up and full of energy. I could throw a party at 10 o'clock and then, 6, 7, I felt like a train hit me.
Yeah.
And just so bad. And so I count my hours when I go to bed. I make sure that I get 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
It has been life-changing for me, and I try to stay consistent. I can't always do that, but generally at least 7 hours of sleep. And because if you don't, you're going to have thyroid issues, you're going to have heart issues, memory issues, all kinds of stuff. So
especially, and your brain doesn't function well. They've done a test on people where they gave them cognitive tests if they got 7 hours sleep or 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, and every hour that you got less than 7 hours, you didn't perform very well on those cognitive tests. So people who say that, I can get by on 4 hours, 5 hours, they're just fooling themselves, right? Because they're not really functioning optimally.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. It really does. And repeating that over time
it's cumulative.
Can have an impact. And, I'm not getting younger, but I don't think that there's any reason why you can't have the same energy as you're older than you're younger. I think that it is a fallacy, and I think that people just accept the fact that, I'm getting older, so therefore I need to have aches and pains, and I need to have.
That's right. They just buy into it. They buy into getting old. Well, that's what my whole thing at Ageless Living. It's all about, how you can stay healthy and energetic all of your life. Obviously, we're going to age. We have some wear and tear and all that, some mileage. I got a little mileage. I hurt myself a few times, but so my saying is, we have to age, but you don't have to grow old in the process.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you is, okay, so what first motivated you to make you realize that you should get a trainer and that you want to that you needed to get fit and work out almost all the time?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was all about accountability. And, I mentor business owners now, my team and I do. And, we all have the greatest intentions. And you wake up in the morning, oh, I'm going to work out today. And, well, I'm going to do it in another hour. I'm going to do it a little later. I'll do it a little later. And then it doesn't happen. And so I remember I was with a client in my homeopathic practice, and he was telling me about this guy, Marcus, who's my now trainer, and how he was running him on the beach, and they used to do these boot camps. And I thought, oh, I really need that. I need somebody that is going to ask more of me that I'm going to ask of myself.
Yeah.
And so I started working out with him. And again, this has been over 2 decades, but it's never been the same workout. And if I'm late, he is on my case. And if I'm complaining on the treadmill, he makes it faster. So I've learned a lot. He's my longest male relationship that I've ever had.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you don't see too many. I've actually had a personal training client for 32 years.
Wow.
He's a real successful entrepreneur. He owns Helix Electric company here in San Diego.
Yeah.
I think they're about the 6th largest electrical contractor in the United States.
Great.
And so he's really a type A person too. He's all into it, but so he knows what to do. But when I go there, he does it. We do it. And get it done, and he just sticks with it, and he knows all the benefits. And so again, that's why I wanted to talk with you, because I've worked with lots of really successful, busy people, and I think the majority of the most successful, busy people know that they need to keep their bodies strong and fit and healthy as they can, because even aside from all the other benefits, it gives you more energy so you can be more successful, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. At the place that I work out, Rico, it's a lot of very successful business owners, and we've known each other all these years, right? And so they all started out with nothing, and I do think that there is something to that discipline. In business, a lot of times people get in, and if it's not taken off in the first year, they shut it down. The statistics are pretty high, and it is the long game. So or a diet or something like that. That's why people yo-yo so much. It really has to be a way of life. It is it may not be super exciting, but it's that routine of you doing it day in and day out. Same thing in your business. You got to focus on sales,
right, day
in and day out, or whatever it is in your business. This up and down, that's where people get injured and all kinds of things. So
it kind of reminds me of that saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Mm-hmm. That's true. So that's why I think that's one benefit of, if you get the discipline to take care of your physical body and work out every day, then that's how you're going to also approach your business and your relationships and your family and everything, right?
Yeah. It really is. And so, I'm far from perfect. I have always had that I need to work on, and it is top of mind for me is my health. And, you see so many people struggling, and I have such compassion for what they're going through. So I'm so grateful. And every day, I'll be in the gym going, thank you, body, for taking care of me. Thank you for hanging in there through all of, what I put you through.
I was just going to say, how I start my day now is I put your hand on your heart and just give some love to your heart. Think about your heart. If you just even live to be 80, your heart's going to beat like 30 to 40 billion times continuously. Think about that. So give your some love to your heart and be grateful for all that your body can do for you.
I'm going to start doing that. I love that.
Well, let me tell you something else on that. I don't know if you heard about. Have you heard of heart-brain coherence?
Of what?
It's called heart-brain coherence.
No, I have not heard of it.
Have you heard of the Math Institute, the Heart Math?
I have heard of Heart Math.
Yeah, they're up in Northern California. They're a group of scientists and spiritual people, and they came up with, they were able to measure the electromagnetic waves that come off the heart and the brain. And what it turns out that our heart is actually electromagnetic 5,000 times more than our brain is. Our heart is actually giving more signals to our brain than our brain is to our heart. So they were able to wire up our heart and the brain and look at the brain waves. And so what they discovered was it's this whole a little system of heart-brain coherence is you put your hand on your heart and just put your attention on your heart. And what they discovered was when you think thoughts of gratitude, of compassion, just like you mentioned, of gratitude, compassion, and kindness, it sends these messages to your brain, and they measure your brain waves, and they're all just perfectly balanced and nice and smooth and calm. And so when it actually calms your brain down, and it's sending these peaceful, healing feelings to your brain, and then your brain sends that message to what chemicals to produce into your body, so it has a really healing effect. And on the other hand, if you start thinking of you're angry or you're complaining or you're, any kind of negative thoughts, it creates these really sporadic, all jumbled, chaotic brain waves, and that's creating stress in your brain. And then your brain sends those signals into your body, which creates stress. And as we know, stress is it creates cortisone and all these stress chemicals, which is the precursor to all the health challenges that we have. So it's so important to realize that your heart is really, well, we've always known that, right? Now the big thing is, to be heart-centered and to go into your heart and get out of your head so much, right? So if you take every day to just do that heart-brain coherence exercise where you just, send some messages of gratitude and compassion, that's gonna really help to heal your body, and it makes I think a huge difference. So you just take a few minutes to do that.
I love that. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, start doing that. Yeah.
That's powerful. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, let me ask you this. This is still what always is the number one question that it's just, I guess it really can't be answered. But I mean, someone like yourself who has experienced so much and you've been so highly successful and you've learned to balance your life, I mean, why are more people not committed to doing that? Everybody would like to be really highly successful in every aspect of their life, right? But very few people really are. So why do you think? What do you think it is? Do you think so many people struggle with, really taking the responsibility, taking control of their life, and becoming more successful and joyful and balanced?
Yeah, I think it's a few things. I think part of it is our own personal self-worth. We have to value ourselves enough. You have to value yourself enough to believe that you're worth it. That you are worth taking care of, that you are worth, giving back to yourself, gifting to yourself, love. And so I think people are so hard on themselves and they get defeated really quickly. Yeah. So I think that's why, for me, having a trainer has been great because, having someone and also we do coaching, having someone's around you that's like, hey, yeah, you're doing great. You've got this kind of thing. It helps. Yeah,
no kidding.
To have that.
Yeah.
And and the other thing I would say is it's not easy. It's really, I think people are looking for easy, and I think the part of the beauty for me in all of this is that it is challenging and you stick to it anyway. It gives you a sense of resilience. It gives you a sense of achievement, to do it, and it builds your confidence and so forth. So if it was super easy, I don't think people would take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's got to keep doing it. Sometimes you just want to sit on the couch and watch Game of Thrones or whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
But get your butt up and get on the treadmill, or put away the bread and things like that we know are not good for you, and make that healthy choice. It really is, it is that combination of, yes, you are valuable, you are worth it, taking care of yourself, and you're important to a lot of people around you. And then the second piece is stay the long game. Even if you want to quit, that part of you that wants to give up, just listen to that little angel on your shoulder going, it's just one more day and one more day and one more day.
So I hope the listeners, I hope you're taking this in. Like, again, especially it's important to take it from someone like Allison, who has been really successful and also had many challenges, and you met your challenges, and you're highly successful. And I know everybody wants to be successful and have a really joyful, fulfilled life, and you can do that, right? It's just a matter of making up your mind and committing to do it. And one more thing I wanted to add was, I think it's also just that it's lack of self-love, like you say, first self-worth and lack of self-love. We aren't taught. I think don't you agree that most important things that we should teach small children that we all should have learned is really to have good self-esteem and self-love and appreciate our physical body, how to take care of it. All the most important things we don't learn, right? So that's why people grow up and they have, like you mentioned, they have all these lack of self-esteem and self-worth and self-love. So, what one of my favorite sayings now is it's all about loving yourself more. So, and the more you love yourself, the better your life becomes. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And I think even if you're not feeling it, just give that love to yourself. And over time, you will start to believe yourself more, especially if you were given messages growing up that were the opposite. It's almost like we have to learn these practices over and over, but mindset is everything. So it's something I work on all the time. And, for me, I was a single mom for 12 years. I didn't have any help. I didn't have any financial help. I mean, at all. And for me, having that trainer back at the time when I had no money, because you look at it like a luxury. And for me, it was just important to me. It was important to me. So I didn't do other things. Like I did that instead of, buying a pair of shoes and purse or whatever. Yeah. To me, that was the thing. And I was even talking to my trainer about this a while back. And I told him about how much I struggled financially back then, when I started working. He really didn't have any idea. So just message out there is that, do whatever it takes to put you first. So, and when you put yourself first, you'll have the energy and the joy to be able to give that back to other people.
Yeah, and to be able to live your purpose. Yeah. And when you say that, now that you've been doing this for so long, it's still, life is still challenging, no question. It's challenging to be a human being, isn't it?
Yeah.
No kidding. But I think, the more you do it, it just becomes second nature. Same for me, I think every year too, I think I feel better in balance, and it's easier. The more you do it, it just seems like a natural thing to keep your body into balance. To do all the things, you got to spend time on your work, on your business. You got to spend time building your relationships, have some social life, and most important of all, number one, you got to take care of your health. And if not, all the rest it's not going to work. It's not going to serve you very well at all.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just so good. I hope people really get that message, and especially coming from you, someone who is so successful and had all these experiences. I really appreciate you being here. Well, I think it's already gone on here about almost 40 minutes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now in your business, and if you have any events or what's coming up and how people can
Yeah. So we mentor business owners all over the world. So, people that have a business that want to take it to the next level. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, you can reach out to us at support@AllisonMaslan.com, and we will send you information on Pinnacle Global Network is our mentoring and mastermind network. And then we do have an event coming up in August called Scale, and it's in San Diego, August 15th to the 17th. And at the Lowe's Coronado, and it's for established business owners wanting to get to the next level. You'll lead with a strategic plan. And we have Susie Batiz, who's the founder of Poopery, and she built it to $700 million. So after 2 bankruptcies, so she's an amazing woman. She's going to be there talking all about how she's done this. So, and so much more. So that's thescaleevent.com.
Okay. And we'll, underneath this, we'll post the information, how they can get a hold of you.
Okay.
So Allison, so what's one last tip or one last thing that you want to leave our listeners with?
I would say walk towards your dreams every single day, and don't let anyone tell you that they can't be done.
Absolutely right. So good. Allison, thank you so very much for being here. I think we're going to just close it up now. Can you hold on just a second? I got a couple of questions I want to ask you off air here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoy this. So if you like this, give me a like, give us a good rating here on iTunes if you get a chance. And also, I was reminded too that I still have my special on my online wellness club. It's at BeBoldNeverBeOld.com, where you can join the first month for $1 and you get 4 personal training videos from me. So thanks very much for being here. And let's use this one today. The more you love yourself, the better your life becomes, and the more balance you have in your life, right?
Yes, I love that.
All right. Thanks so much. Okay. Where is it? Oh, here.